The battlefields of the 21st century are no longer defined by trenches and tanks alone. A new form of conflict has emerged, one that blends conventional military force with a shadowy arsenal of irregular tactics. This is hybrid warfare, and it is reshaping the landscape of international relations. Hybrid warfare is characterized by its deliberate ambiguity, exploiting the gray areas between war and peace to achieve strategic objectives. It is a chameleon-like approach, adapting to the vulnerabilities of its targets and leaving a trail of confusion in its wake. Unlike traditional warfare, hybrid warfare does not rely on overwhelming military might. Instead, it employs a combination of means including cyberattacks, disinformation campaigns, economic coercion, and the exploitation of social divisions to weaken and destabilize adversaries. The very nature of hybrid warfare makes it difficult to counter. Its perpetrators operate in the shadows, often using proxies or covert means to mask their involvement. This deliberate obfuscation makes it challenging to attribute attacks and respond with traditional military force. Hybrid warfare represents a paradigm shift in conflict, demanding new strategies and a re-evaluation of traditional defense doctrines. Dr. Maria Sanchez discusses the nature of asynchronous warfare.
One of the most defining characteristics of hybrid warfare is its ability to blur the lines between war and peace. It deliberately targets civilian infrastructure and institutions, sowing chaos and undermining public trust in democratic processes. This deliberate blurring of boundaries makes it difficult to determine when a state of war actually exists, hampering the ability of nations to respond effectively. A prime example of this is the increasing use of cyber attacks against critical infrastructure. In recent years, there have been numerous instances of state-sponsored hackers targeting power grids, financial institutions, and government networks. These attacks, often attributed to hostile states but rarely officially acknowledged, have the potential to cause widespread disruption and economic damage. Similarly, disinformation campaigns, often spread through social media and online platforms, have been used to manipulate public opinion and interfere in democratic elections. These campaigns exploit existing social divisions, amplifying polarizing narratives and eroding trust in traditional media sources.
According to Dr. Raj Patel,
the threat posed by hybrid warfare has not gone unnoticed by security experts and world leaders. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has repeatedly warned of Russia's increasing use of hybrid tactics, stating that Russia is trying to blur the line between conventional warfare and what they call information warfare, cyber attacks, and other hybrid tactics. Jake Sullivan, the US National Security Advisor, has also expressed concerns about the vulnerability of critical infrastructure to cyber attacks, highlighting the need for enhanced cybersecurity measures. In the United Kingdom, Ken McCallum, the head of MI5, has warned of the increasing sophistication of state-sponsored hostile activity, stating that Russia's intelligence services are using a growing range of tactics to disrupt and destabilize the UK and its allies. These warnings highlight the growing awareness of hybrid warfare as a serious threat to national and international security. And the international community is grappling with the challenge of how to deter and respond to these ambiguous acts of aggression, which often fall below the threshold of traditional armed conflict.
Professor Anne Dubois discusses hybrid warfare tactics.
Hybrid warfare employs a wide range of tools and tactics, often used in concert to create a synergistic effect. Cyber attacks are a key component of this arsenal, allowing hostile actors to target critical infrastructure, disrupt communications, and steal sensitive information. These attacks can range from relatively simple distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks, which overwhelm websites and networks with traffic, to highly sophisticated intrusions into government and military systems. Disinformation campaigns are another potent weapon in the hybrid warfare playbook. These campaigns use a variety of channels, including social media, online forums, and traditional media outlets to spread false or misleading information. The goal is to manipulate public opinion, sow discord, and undermine trust in institutions. Sabotage is another commonly used tactic, often targeting critical infrastructure such as pipelines, power grids, and transportation systems. These acts of sabotage can cause significant economic damage and disrupt essential services, Economic coercion is also used as a tool of hybrid warfare. This can take many forms, including sanctions, trade barriers, and the manipulation of energy prices. The aim is to weaken the target state's economy and undermine its ability to resist other forms of pressure.
One of the most significant challenges posed by hybrid warfare is the difficulty of attribution. Perpetrators often go to great lengths to conceal their involvement, using proxies, cutouts, and other means to mask their tracks. This deliberate obfuscation makes it difficult to definitively identify the aggressor and respond accordingly. The use of cyber attacks in particular poses significant attribution challenges. Hackers can operate from anywhere in the world, using sophisticated techniques to cover their tracks. Even when the source of an attack can be narrowed down to a particular country, it can be difficult to prove state involvement beyond a reasonable doubt. This ambiguity gives perpetrators a significant advantage, allowing them to sow chaos and undermine their adversaries, without facing the consequences of a traditional military response. It also creates a dilemma for targeted states, which must carefully weigh the risks and benefits of responding to an attack when the perpetrator's identity is uncertain. The transnational nature of hybrid warfare demands a coordinated international response. No single nation can hope to effectively counter these threats alone. International cooperation is essential for sharing intelligence, developing common strategies, and deterring potential adversaries. NATO has recognized the threat posed by hybrid warfare and has taken steps to strengthen its defenses. The alliance has established a hybrid fusion center in Helsinki, Finland, to improve situational awareness and coordinate responses to hybrid threats. NATO has also conducted exercises and developed new doctrines to enhance its resilience to hybrid warfare. However, more needs to be done. NATO members need to further strengthen their cyber defenses, improve intelligence sharing, and develop a common understanding of what constitutes a hybrid attack and how to respond. Cooperation with non-NATO partners, particularly in the European Union, is also essential. The EU has its own mechanisms for countering hybrid threats, and closer coordination between NATO and the EU is crucial for ensuring a comprehensive and effective response. Cyber warfare represents a particularly challenging aspect of hybrid warfare. It is a domain where the lines between offense and defense, peace and war, are constantly shifting. Cyber attacks can be launched from anywhere in the world, targeting critical infrastructure and disrupting essential services with potentially devastating consequences. The interconnected nature of the modern world makes us all vulnerable to cyber attacks. Power grids, financial institutions, transportation systems, and even healthcare facilities are increasingly reliant on computer networks and digital technologies. This dependence creates vulnerabilities that can be exploited by hostile actors. Protecting critical infrastructure from cyber attacks requires a multi-layered approach, involving both technological solutions and international cooperation. Governments and private companies need to invest in robust cybersecurity measures, including firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and data encryption. They also need to develop comprehensive incident response plans to mitigate the damage caused by successful attacks. Dr. Maria Sanchez continues her discussion.
Hybrid warfare deliberately targets civilian infrastructure and institutions, aiming to disrupt essential services, sow chaos, and undermine public trust. This makes protecting civilian infrastructure a paramount concern in countering hybrid threats. Critical infrastructure encompasses a wide range of sectors, including energy, transportation, water, healthcare, and communications. These sectors are essential for the functioning of modern societies, and their disruption can have cascading effects on the economy, public health, and national security. Protecting civilian infrastructure from hybrid threats requires a comprehensive approach that combines physical security measures with cyber defenses, public awareness campaigns, and international cooperation. Governments need to work closely with private companies, which own and operate much of the critical infrastructure, to share information, coordinate security measures, and develop contingency plans. Public awareness campaigns can also play a vital role in enhancing resilience to hybrid threats by educating citizens about the risks, promoting vigilance, and providing guidance on how to respond in an emergency.
The evolving nature of warfare presents significant challenges for national and international security. Hybrid warfare, with its ambiguous nature and deliberate blurring of lines, demands a fundamental shift in our thinking about conflict and defense. Traditional military might alone is no longer sufficient to deter aggression or protect national interests. We need to develop new strategies, capabilities, and partnerships to counter the multifaceted threats posed by hybrid warfare. This requires a comprehensive approach that encompasses diplomacy, military deterrence, cyber defense, intelligence sharing, and the protection of critical infrastructure. International cooperation is paramount in this endeavor. No nation can hope to address these challenges alone. We need to strengthen existing alliances, forge new partnerships, and work together to establish international norms and frameworks for responsible state behavior in cyberspace and other domains. The future of peace and security depends on our collective ability to adapt to the evolving nature of conflict and build a more resilient and secure world.